All right, so this problem gives us a system of equations, and what it wants us to do is find the x and the y values that will work to make these systems work with each other. They're going to tell you maybe by substitution, by elimination, who knows, a couple of other different methods, but really what we want to do on a problem like this is we're going to end up using the matrix function on our calculator to be able to just quickly solve this problem. So the first thing that we need to do here is turn the two equations that we were given into a matrix. And when we do that, all we do is really just read off the coefficients from each term. So we'd be looking at -2, -3, -14, and then -3, and that negative in front of the y would be a -1, and then -7. Once we have our matrix, we're going to run through a little bit of matrix process on our calculator, and what that's going to look like is sort of step one of this process is you'll hit second matrix, and then you're going to go over to the edit menu, and you just kind of want to hit enter on matrix A there. The first thing it's going to ask you to do is to tell it the size. The size of our matrix that we're always going to see on these problems here is a 2 by 3. It's 2 rows by 3 columns is what we're looking at. So, but don't worry too much because it's kind of hard to mess that up. Once you go ahead and enter your data in, if you once you get to the end, you're just going to want to hit second quit to get out of there. And then to continue the process, step 2, we're going to go back into the matrix area. So hit second matrix, and then this time we're ready to do some math, so we'll go over to the math menu and we'll go down to option B, which is RREF, and go ahead and hit enter on that. And then from there we'll go back into the matrix area, and this time we just need to tell it which matrix we want it to use the RREF process on. So you're just going to hit enter in that names menu on your matrix A where you stored your data. And out of there, we'll end up getting a result out of our calculator that'll look like this always. 1, 0, 0, 1 in the first 2 columns. And then in the last column is where we're going to end up seeing our answers. The first answer will be the x value, and the second answer will be the y value. So we'll go ahead and pull up our TI-84 calculators, and we're going to want to go into the matrix area. So we're going to hit second, and then the matrix menu is in blue above the x to the -1, so hit that x to the -1. We want to go over and edit, so we're going to edit our matrix A. Again, it's going to ask you for the size, so we're looking at a 2 by 3 matrix here. And you can see that, like I said, it's really hard to mess this up because if you enter the size in wrong, you won't be able to enter the data in off of the matrix you created properly. So we know we've got the right setup because we can enter it all in now. So we're going to put -2, and then -3, and then -14, just entering that data from the matrix we created at the very beginning. And then -3, -1, and -7. So once we've entered in all our data, we want to go ahead and hit second quit to get out of there always. And then we're going to need to go back into the matrix function. So second, and then choose the matrix menu, that x to the -1. And then from here, we want to go do some math. So we're going over to the math menu, and then we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to option B there, RREF, reduced row echelon form. You want to go ahead and hit enter on that. And then we need to just go back into matrix here. So hit second matrix, and then we just want to select the matrix. We want to do the RREF process too. So just hit enter on matrix A right there, and then hit enter again. And you'll see that we have the 1, 0, 0, 1 in the first 2 columns, and then 1, 4 in that final column. So the 1 value would be our x, the 4 value would be our y, and that would be our final answers.